Afternoon. What I'm going to do here is sharpen this. I'm always trying to look for stuff to, like test my skills. And hopefully, they're improving. This is an old Klein tools, just a Klein, like the typical electrician's pocket knife that I've had for at least 20 years. It's been probably much longer than that, but I know for certain it hasn't been sharpened in a long time. It's probably not dull. Well, well, maybe it is. I mean, it is cutting the paper, so it's not what I would certainly call dull, but it's not at a level of sharpness that I would prefer for a pocket knife. And really, one of the main reasons I'm even doing this video is because I picked up a couple of microphones. One I have clipped on me, one I have here that I hope will improve the sound quality of the videos. So this time I'm not going to use a guides. As I said before, I don't really use guides very often. And for the last time I used it, I sharpened it. Last video, I sharpened an old kitchen knife. And I used a guide just because I'm almost certain that knife had never been sharpened. So I wanted my result to be as consistent as possible, to eliminate any variables, so to speak. But I'm going to sharpen using the same method I did last time, which is 10 strokes per side, and then counting down until I reach 5 strokes per side. I should turn this around. I can see that it's already. Hopefully, this new microphone, you'll be able to hear the sound that the stone makes. The sound is one of those things you can tell. Usually, you can tell that if it's being sharpened correctly by the sound that you're getting from the stone. Shouldn't be too harsh. We just had a large sugar maple cut down in my yard today. Fortunately, it got a bud into it, and it was dying from this inside out. I did one too many on that one, so I'll do. And just to let you know, each time I go, I start a new side, I am lightening the pressure slightly. It's one of those things you just sort of feel. Now I'll move on to the finer stone. I mean, the edge definitely looks a lot better. That's a good sign. I'm not going to do as many passes on the finer stone. You generally don't need to. Usually 10 strokes on each side will be more than enough. And then I would chase the burr. Which is what I will do right now. I don't really have a set number of strokes I do when I do this. It's more just seeing how it feels and checking out from this angle. I have a good perspective of the bevel. Usually you can at least get a decent idea that the knife is sharper by looking at the bevel. I always say this is sort of like if you can imagine trying to take a very thin peel off of whatever you're slicing. It's not bad. We'll strap it. Putting pretty firm pressure on this as I do it. They say the danger in stropping too hard is you can roll the edge, which I've actually done before on my block plane, and I had to regrind it. I think rolling the edge on a pocket knife is a little bit more difficult because you are coming from both sides. So in theory, well, I could be wrong, but in theory you're pushing the edge back and forth. And well, it's pretty good. There are some. There's the lighting in here is just horrific. So maybe view it, that's not all that great. But let's try this piece of paper. I mean, that's not bad, not great either. It's see right there. And it slices through it pretty easily, but when I get to the very back here, it's starting to tear. The tip of it is really nice and sharp, but it's the back. I mean, I'm keeping to the tip there, and it cuts right through it. But when I get back here, I'm guessing I didn't, and it doesn't look as refined there either. That's more of a sharpening error on my part than it is to do anything with the actual medium, meaning the stones. And right there, see, I started in the back of that tour, but I keep it up the front, and it is cutting through it nicely. Try here. And that's not great, but once I get to that back spot there, it just doesn't want to cut anymore. So I probably have to go over that again. But it's definitely much sharper than it was. And I'm hoping really that the main thing here is that I'm hoping that the sound quality of the video is getting a little better. And next thing I'll do, and if when I get around to it, and maybe I'll do a better mount for the camera. Right now it's just mounted in a block of wood that I made for it. So hopefully the quality of these videos gets a little better in terms of sound and in terms of camera work. And I appreciate you watching. Thanks, and have a great weekend.